And one of the things that comes up to my mind when I think about you is the powerful speech you gave after Amarnath, का जो वहाँ पे जो murder हुआ Amarnath years ago, and the way it became your video that you speech, it became viral overnight. And when I watched it, when I got home and I got to work and I watched it in the morning, I cried, literally cried. And there are many people who will, vouch for that. So can you tell us the story, how you got into it, and also tie it up with your story about the Amarnath?
Namaste. Thank you so much, Avdanshi. It's a privilege to be here. I have never attended Kumbh Mela. I have never been to Kumbh. So this is the largest congregation of Hindus that I have ever attended. This is the largest amount of Hindus I have ever been with. Now, from your perspective, that's a wonderful thing. But from where I come from, but the point of view that I carry, it is overwhelming because I grew up in a state in Bharat where Hindus, only state in Bharat where Hindus are in a minority. So for me, since yesterday, I have been walking around with a big bindi, with a sari, and with bangles and Mangal Sutra walking around. None of you will imagine how happy that makes me, because I spent my entire childhood not knowingly, not on purpose, but very aware of my Hindu identity, and I'm ashamed to say, even hiding it, because that was the only way to survive. That was the only way to avoid trouble. That was the only way as a girl to stay out of any kind of, stay out of the way of any kind of troublemakers. So to the World Hindu Congress, my eternal gratitude for inviting me here and giving me this wonderful opportunity to be with you all. Thank you. Avdanshi actually set the ball rolling with that little story that he said about Amarnath Yatra. That speech I made. Let me give you a little story about that, and then I will tie it with social media and how I have been involved in it, and my other points that, substantial points that I want to bring forward to you about social media and how I feel it can be used. So, I was traveling, and this invitation to speak, and I was traveling when this news came, which was nothing new to me, but it was a news nevertheless, that pilgrims, Amarnath pilgrims, Shiva devotees had been attacked. And in a bus, they were going in a bus, and they were attacked. Some of them had lost their lives, few had been injured. And there was a Amarnath for the victims in Houston. I live in Houston, and the organizations, the Hindu organizations, got together to do a Prarthana Sabha, and I was invited to speak there. My colleague Adit is here. He was with me, and he will bear witness to it. When I walked into the room, I thought I will just, what does one say after 25 years of persecution? I thought I will just go and I will say all the appellant Motherpai statements, I'm sorry this happened, and I will just go, because after 25 years one tends to get tired. And then the priest there, he said some mantras for the peace of the people who had lost their lives. And that isn't something happened. I have written about Kashmir for the last 20 years, but I have kept personal and my other commentary aside. I have never mixed the two. But something happened that day, and वो हिंदी में कहते हैं बांध टूट गया. I went there and I narrated my entire story story, and I won't waste time speaking it here, but you can go to YouTube and you can listen to it after the program today. And I wrote a story about a 10-year-old, how we were persecuted and how my grandfather actually took an axe and said, I will kill you before the intruders come. And that's when I had said, I have lost my childhood forever. So I narrated those stories. These were stories that my husband also did not know. My children did not know because I had not told them. It was such it had been in the deepest recesses of my heart. And that day it just came out. And here is where social media comes in. There were about 40 to 50 people in that room, as is the bane of, forgive me for saying this, of Hindus everywhere. Whenever there is anything, all we can manage is in that 150,000 people in Houston, all we managed that Thursday evening was 40 to 50 people. And I said, okay, I wasn't talking to the audience, it was a cathartic experience. I spoke, and the credit for that goes to Adit, he's here. He recorded it, and he put it on our MyInd, our website, and on YouTube. I came home, I slept. In the morning when I woke up, my phone was broken with the messages that I had, and the amount it had just gone viral from, I had messages from Africa, I had messages from Europe, I had messages from the United States, from India, everywhere. So I thought I was speaking only to 40 people. By morning, there were about 4 million people who had heard that video. So, and then the messages that came to me were, we never knew this happened. These are Hindus who were born and raised in India who said, really? Did this happen in Kashmir? Did this really happen? Did you really have to go out? Were you really thrown out of your homes? Did this? I was shocked at the amount of ignorance there is. And I'm not blaming anybody. Maybe a lot of fault is with us also. We have not been able to communicate as much as we should have. And this is where social media ties in. And I will give you a few examples of how I use social media and how I have been empowered by it. First of all, when we say social media, what are we talking about? Social media versus mainstream media. These two nomenclatures, after this, I want you to throw it out of your lives. Mainstream media is not mainstream media because it does not carry any mainstream opinion. So, please do not call it mainstream media after you leave from here. I call it big media, corrupt media, Lutyens media, Delhi-based media, but it's not mainstream media. This is mainstream media right here, and you are mainstream media right there. So that is one thing I want you to really follow in your life. So this is a, old boys club. So one person talks about nuclear disarmament, same person goes on another channel and talks about environmental disasters, and third hour he goes and he talks about some women empowerment. So they don't zilch about all three. So let's get that out. Social media is a democratic media. So dictatorial media versus democratic media. That is the nomenclature that we should use. Nomenclatures are very important. If there is one thing that you should remember when you get out of the room, it's nomenclatures. Let's use the right nomenclature for the right thing. Let's not use the words that we have been told. So that's one thing I wanted to preface it with. Then I want to give you another example how because I have been involved with this since 2008, 2009. I will give you an exact moment when social media came of age in Bharat. And as a good media personality, I love a scandal. So social media also started with a bang, with a scandal. And I'll give you this example. I don't know how many of you remember that or how many of you have been were part of social media at that time. Forgive me for taking names, but looking at the faces here, if anyone thought we wouldn't take names or if we would be reverent towards anybody, you are mistaken, you're in the wrong room. So at that time, Congress spokesperson Abhishek Manu Singhvi, most of you must have seen him on the TV, he got into a scandal. My microphone is not working. He got into a scandal. You can Google and find out.
What his name does to you? Yeah, I know.
Oh, it is Congressman. Please sit here.
They're controlling here too.
This is a scandal. The minute I say Congress, something happens. I would like to go to organizers after this.
Our voices are getting stifled.
Our voices are getting, this is intolerance. Is no one from the so-called Lutyens media here to carry this message? Sunanda, Vashisht, voice getting stifled.
They're scared of
They're scared of us. Censorship is happening right here. Make sure this is, Sushilji, make sure I get this time.
I'm going to give you 2 minutes.
We can lock the door.
Are you the timekeeper?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please give me 2 minutes. I've not even started.
Actually, I saw it.
I am not even.
Hello?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Working now.
There we go.
Thank you. Conspiracy no more. So he got, Google this. So Abhishek Manu Singhvi got into some trouble. And why it was interesting to us, no one cares what he does in his bedroom, but why it was interesting to us was because he had promised somebody some promotion out of turn for a sexual favor or something. As a true media person, we all love, we love conspiracies. I mean, not conspiracy, but a scandal. So we love gossip also. So this tape, this is in 2012 framework. This tape emerged somewhere and it was stifled by the Lutyens media. And it was not, it went to all media houses, but no one paid it. Of course, there was UPA government in power. It emerged on social media. And suddenly, within hours, everybody had seen that tape. This was the first bona fide social media moment. It was a story that was, the story that broke on social media, that was sustained on social media for a long time. Of course, he was thrown out of his spokespersonship or whatever, and then was back in 6 months. That's how it happens in India. But that's not where we go. But what I'm saying, that was the first time something of that thing had happened, and everybody was talking about it. And that time I wrote a piece called "News in the Time of Social Media." And so I'll continue. News in the time of social media. What that meant, and the 2 things that and I'm talking about 2012. 2 things that came out of, I concluded in that piece were that after today, media censorship is a joke. Media will never be able to censor anything now that social media is, no one, governments or anybody will not be able to censor anything now that social media is here. That was one conclusion I had drawn in 2012. Another conclusion I drew in 2012 was, at that time, that there is not going to be my way or highway here now. Every single person who has an internet connection will have an opinion, and every single person will voice that opinion. I had a lot of people, so if you know now editor of print and at that editor of Indian Express, Shekhar Gupta, he used to get into a lot of frenzy. And the way he used to, because he was part of the Old Boys Club, so he would always say that not everyone who has an opinion is an opinion, it's a point of view. So an opinion cannot be a point of view, a point of view cannot be an opinion. When he said opinion, he wanted to say opinion page in the newspaper. And that is something, and then after that, 3 or 4 years after that, Mr. Gupta often wrote to me and said, could we please have your opinion for my website? No prizes for guessing if I agreed or declined. But this is where we have gone from dismissing us as point of view, from dismissing us as chaotic, from dismissing us as someone who, people who have no knowledge of what they're talking, only we do, to invite us to write for their portals, which is, for us, it's not anything, I don't consider a privilege or anything, but I'm saying this is how the trajectory happened. And I'll give you quickly, I know I don't have time, I'll give you quickly 3 examples. One of where social media has done extremely well. Another, and you can keep adding examples, as you go. Another example where social media has done middlingly well, and one example where we have completely failed, despite all the star power here. So one example where we have been very successful is India Pride project that is run by a good friend of ours, Anurag Saxena and his other friends. And this is, you must have seen the tag, Bring Our Idols Home. This is about raising awareness about the lost heritage or the stolen heritage, the murtis that get stolen from Bharat, from the temples, and they land somewhere in museums in New York and London and everywhere, then they get sold or whatever. So no one had this awareness. As Hindus, even I have to admit, I did not understand how big of a problem this was. So this group, India Pride Project, they actually did an entire research where they found that this money is also funding terror. That is when we sort of arose, but that is how they use social media very effectively to create awareness about it. So if you follow Bring Our Gods Back Home, you will see that a lot of murtis have come back and everything. So that's a very successful example, and that makes me very happy. Second example is our own Kashmiri Hindus, the example of Kashmiri Hindus. The way before social media was invented, or before social media came, or even before internet came, the story of Kashmiri Hindus was told like, 20 people were taken to hospital because of food contamination. And then 700,000 Hindus were driven out of their homes. That was the same tone and tenor used. Nothing was different. It was just like 20 people had been hospitalized for food contamination. So when internet came, even before social media, when internet came, there were a bunch of people, I'll just take one more minute, there were a bunch of people who, chronicled this entire story about who we were, where we came from, what had happened to us, and it's only through the pages of internet and through social media our story is alive today. And I'm telling you, I have one such activist, Lalit Kaul, sitting right here, who painstakingly wrote the names of every single martyr of Hindus who had fallen to bullets. Every single martyr. Not one Chor media or Lutyens media did that. He did that even before social media. You can check it. And when social media came, so we got our Philip and we started talking about it, but we are still nowhere near any kind of, it's a whole story, we'll need another panel discussion for that. But I'm saying we've had middling success in just making our stories known. And I'm just, last point, where we have completely failed, and I'll give you an example of we have not been able to set the narrative, is cow slaughter issue. Cow slaughter issue is about legality and illegality. That is the framework that this debate should be framed in. The way it is being, because cow slaughter is banned in 24 states, has been banned by Congress government since 1947, even before that. So if anything happens which is not legal, the debate is completely about legal and illegality. It is not a tolerance versus intolerance debate. At that point, we have to ask, people who are talking about have to ask that is the society ready for cow slaughter? India is a representative democracy. If people are really, if they agree that cow slaughter should happen, then people who are screaming intolerance should go to their representatives and lawmakers should take a stand before all of you and before all their constituents and say, listen, we are going to bring a law which will allow cow slaughter. Why do lawmakers not take that stand? You know why? Because there is no public opinion for it. here and they talk about tolerance, non-tolerance, which is garbage. The real issue is legality and illegality. But here we have not been able to form the narrative. So this is something I take blame for as well, that anytime you see anything about Gohatya, the debate should only be framed till the law is there. Till the law is there, till the lawmakers in parliament go and change it, till the law is here, it should completely be about legality and illegality about this. And I will take more questions. I mean, I have to say more, but when question answers happen, I will say more. But thank you for your patient hearing. Thank you.